I'm Steve.
And I'm Joe, and we're from the Golden Awesome.
And we're here at CMJ in New York. Is it your first time in New York?
Yep.
Yeah.
How's the experience so far?
It's been great. It's been very overwhelming maybe, but just very, very full. There's a lot going on here, and it's kind of a few days or even a few weeks. You can't really see everything you'd want to see, but it's very cool.
Have you been playing any other shows outside of New York, or have you pretty much just come over for the festival?
This is going to be our first show out of 6, which are all happening within the next week.
So that'll do.
Yeah.
Have you ever had that sort of, tight schedule before?
No. People don't really go to shows on Mondays in New Zealand. Or Sundays.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a new deal for us. We went to a party last night on a Monday night at 7 or 8 p.m. and it was packed. Yeah.
Yeah, 3,000 people at the syndicate of the people who, maybe you were there.
I wasn't, unfortunately, but I've been hearing good things. I guess they call it the city that never sleeps, but I'm sure it has a lot to do with CMJ specifically as well.
Yeah.
Right? Where the whole world has come to check out the music scene over here. Have you is there that sort of feeling in the air that the whole kind of world is here? You're meeting lots of people from other countries.
That feeling is in the air, absolutely, but it's not. We're not really knowing that.
What's the question?
Are you feeling the world in the air?
I think we're about to. From today, I suppose. The last week we've been feeling the leaves in Central Park. Yeah.
Which has its benefits.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people.
For us, CMJ is one aspect of our New York visit. The other is that we're releasing an album through a little Brooklyn-based label called Miladies Records, and this album is kind of coming out this week as well. So we're kind of splitting our time between CMJ and promoting this album release with the local label.
Well, I understand that you've, at least in New Zealand, so I don't know if you're doing it here as well, but you released 200 copies on vinyl, then you've done purple vinyl.
Yeah, the first 200 of the vinyl will be purple, and then it'll be just good old black vinyl after that.
What was any specific reason for choosing purple vinyl?
We have a very bright yellow cover, and the purple goes quite well with that.
Aesthetically pleasing.
That's what covers should be.
Well, that sounds great. And when was the album released in New Zealand?
It will be released in late November.
So it hasn't even been released at home yet?
No, because it's a Brooklyn-based label. So we're actually coming here to pick up the records and take them back to New Zealand.
Oh, really?
Among others.
There you go.
Multitasking.
So now how did that come about, where a Brooklyn label picked you up and that's how you're going to get released at home?
We played a music festival called Camp Aloham in New Zealand last summer, and Brett, the fellow who runs Miladies Records, was in New Zealand with another band, and he saw us and was keen on us, sent us an email asking if we wanted to release something on his label, and it turns out we just finished an album and we're looking for some way to release it. So then it all went from there, and now some months later we're here releasing it and playing at CMJ as well, which is a really lucky sort of coincidence.
And how long have you been playing music together? How far back does this go?
We started about a year ago doing this, but we've all played in various other bands, some together, some not. We kind of all cut our musical teeth in Dunedin in the 90s, and it kind of, in a way, goes back to that.
Yeah, we're all friends.
Yeah. Oh, we're old and we're friends. And we're old friends.
So it's just like a super group of friends.
Yeah.
And I read some interesting descriptions of the band, things about lava exploding out of the ground and Golden Awesome being what emerged and things like that. There seems to be, from everything I was finding about you guys, there seems to be quite an interesting way that you articulate yourselves. Is that just come about, or is that a thought out?
That's really a case of multiple authorship, where Brett, our label guy, writes such descriptions, and we play music that inspires him to write these descriptions.
But the problem also is that if you have to describe a band, you have to end up citing genres or bands or things, and it's not always that easy, and often it reads really boringly, perhaps.
So yeah, the more colourful the better.
Yeah.
So yeah, covered. Have you heard some of the music? Or?
No, I haven't. I unfortunately tried to, but I was.
It's not out yet.
It's not out yet.
That's true.
There you go. But from what I read, it seems like you guys are tremendously fun live. How does your music translate in the live setting?
Our original idea was to be a very loud band, the loudest band in town.
And it came true.
So yeah, so I mean live, when someone plays a record you can't tell them to turn it up, but I suppose live you can kind of fulfill that.
It's a sonic arts student reviewed us in Wellington sometime, and he said what he loved about it was that the sound completely engulfed him, and it was like he was in liquid. And so it's this kind of bit of sound, pleasant but loud. Yeah.
Look, there's nothing wrong with cranking things up to 11.
That's right.
Now, the rest of the year, what's it holding for you? Is it going to be more touring back home?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're returning to New Zealand to release a record and travel around New Zealand playing shows and things, and then playing some summer festival stuff.
Will you be in Australia at all?
Well, there's nothing planned at the moment, but we made friends with a band called Low Tide at Camp Boham, and they seem to be, we felt quite a aesthetic kinship with them, and we'd love to play some shows with them next year sometime.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we see you out in Australia, and have you seen the purple vinyl yet? Have you had it in your hands?
Unfortunately, no.
Well, I imagine you're looking forward to that.
Yep.
Definitely.
Well, best of luck with the record and your time here in New York.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Pleasure.